Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to today's live session. We're on day number 50, and oh my god, I'm so happy, so excited, so thankful that you've been here with me on this journey of growing, of learning, of transforming every single day. We've hit the half century mark, and in the next 50 days, we're going to be at session number 100. I can't even begin to think about the level of transformation and joy and impact we will create in our lives together. Because while we continue to talk about the special topic we have for today, which is about growth, which connects to this as well, I want to take a moment to just, I don't know how to say if this is the right way to say it as well, but I feel so blessed and thankful that you all give me the chance to show up here and to do this for you and to be here for you and to guide you and to help you. I know it may seem a lot of the times that I'm doing this for service, I'm doing this for impact, I'm doing this because I want to give back to the world and I want to see a generation that is leading through clarity. And yes, I do. But deep down, this work, this 15 minutes have become the most beautiful part of my day because it's like a family now. It's like a connection. And I feel so blessed that I am the biggest beneficiary of my work where I'm able to connect with all of you, not just for chit chat, not just for, you know, any random conversation, but for conversations that change lives. I mean, that's such a special connection. That is such a deep connection. And I'll always eternally be grateful that by just showing up here, you've given me that chance to do that work every single day and to be that pillar of support for you and as a direct result of it for myself. Because I'll be honest with you, if there are some days when I'm just not feeling it or I'm like, today was not a good day, I have 8:30 p.m. to realign myself, to show up for you, to show up for us, and to grow together, to be the best versions of ourselves together. And so yeah, I know I got a bit carried away there in the emotions, but this is the gratitude I sincerely wanted to express to you today. Because as we're talking about growth, right, I want to share with you two critical barriers that I've seen come up for people whenever they're trying to grow. I've seen this in my coaching, I've seen this in the case studies of success that I've analyzed, and these become the barrier not just at the level where you are today, but when you get to success. This is exactly what brings you down and makes you fall. And that's why having this awareness from this very moment is what allows you to balance what I like to call the paradox of growth. You'll understand why I call it a paradox in just a few minutes. So, the two sides of the coin of human behavior when it comes to growth is the first side is when we're too humble and we are putting down our abilities so we don't take actions and we don't risk anything. This is the zone of guilt and fear and self doubt and worry and overthinking and all the things that usually block you from taking the action. Now, if there's someone who wants to start a business, but rather than starting the business, their focus is what if I fail? What if I run out of money? What if I'm not able to repay the debts? All these what if negative questions that they form because they believe they are not worthy of success yet, they are not worthy of growth yet, they haven't done or achieved enough to really deserve it. And so, this idea is what keeps them stuck. Why? Because they are feeling incomplete, they are feeling unworthy, and they are feeling that I'm not really the person who deserves these dreams I have. I want them, but then there's that hesitation, there's that resistance, because of which 90% of the world continues to struggle for their growth. But at the top 10%, when you actually get to success, there's another kind of struggle that you will rarely hear people talking about when they go through it. But after they go through it, everybody talks about that struggle. And that happens when the person goes through a downfall of their success. And the other end of the spectrum is overconfidence and feeling invincible and boosting the ego to such an extent that you feel, oh, I am untouchable. Nobody can do anything to me. It sounds good like a movie dialogue. It sounds good like being that hero and being that kingpin of the mafia, that I'm untouchable and nobody can do that and only my orders are the orders that go through. Sounds pretty cool. But when you try to do it, you'll find out that the more you try to do it, the more in life you get screwed, the more things go wrong for you. That's just the way it is. Why? Because ego makes you blind. It doesn't show you where you need to grow. So rather than maintaining the success, you plateau in your efforts, you plateau in your actions, you plateau in the things that you're doing. And we all know this one truth about life: if you're not growing, you're dying. In fact, write the sentence down: if you're not growing, you're dying. This is the basic fact of life. Since you are born as a baby, you keep growing every single day. Now, whether that remains growth or whether that turns into atrophy or dystrophy, that depends on your lifestyle choices and your actions. And when it becomes something like a dystrophy, where the growth is negative, you end up getting diseases, you end up dying faster. But when that is healthy growth, your lifespan improves, your life improves. So growth is the essential ingredient of life, just like food, just like water. Look at plants. If a plant is not growing, it's essentially dead. No new fruits, no new seeds, nothing. And in a few weeks it will be dry. After it's dry and it's gone, water it like as much as you want, but the water is not going to do anything. When you're at this level, you become invincible and you become blocked to your own pitfalls. One, why? Because you're surrounded by people who want to praise you, people who want your success, people who are aligned with you, not because they have the best intentions, but because they want a piece of the pie that you own. So they'll be goody goody, they'll be nice. But the moment things start to go down for you, they will be the first ones to turn around. And then you'll be like, why did I even trust such people? Well, you trusted them because you were blinded by your own ego that I have done so much now. I have achieved so much success. I have built a 10,000 crore company. I have built the biggest startup in the world. I don't need to learn anymore. I am sorted. I am the gold medalist. I am the king. It's not bad to feel that. But if you let it get to your head, you plateau, you block your growth, and that's where your downfall starts. So now, the people who maintain success are in the middle of the spectrum, and we will think it's logical, but actually that's not where most human beings are. Either they're too high on ego, or either they're so low that they don't even take any action to change. They believe they cannot take action to change, but essentially they're just choosing not to take that action to change, not that they cannot do it. So that is why this is a paradox of growth that I call. Because on one end, if you're not getting the results you want every single day, you're feeling not enough, you're feeling unworthy, you're feeling, what's the point? I'm trying so much, nothing's happening. I still have a long way to go. The day you're believing this, you're not looking at the journey you've crossed. You're only looking at what's pending till the peak. And then when you get to the peak, because you're so used to being insecure, you're so used to being unworthy, you change the peak. You don't allow yourself to feel the success, you don't allow yourself to feel the growth, and eventually that leads to burnout, and that makes you feel like, what's the point? Why did I even try pursuing my goals? But now on the other end, when you let the ego go high, it's like, okay, this is the peak. You've got to the peak. Now, all you're doing is you're looking down at the journey that you've crossed and you're feeling very proud of yourself. Like, I am the best. Now, nothing can stop me. But you have to raise the peak, right? You cannot stay at the same level forever. When you raise the peak, you will have to take more actions. You'll have to learn. You'll have to be humble. Now, this may seem commonplace knowledge, but having been in circles and having talked to people who are at the top rungs of their field, I'm often surprised and shocked by for how many people humbleness and learning and continuous growth is a novel idea. It's crazy. There are people who've built thousands of crores of companies, and yet their ego gets so high that they forget learning was what got them here in the first place. So the paradox of growth is to balance both of these and to be able to keep your eyes on the next goal. Okay. At the same time, to be able to look at the journey you have crossed and feel proud of yourself and feel good enough about yourself and feel successful, while also knowing that this success is not the result of your invincibility, but of your work, of your dedication, of your commitment, of your learning, and that there's the next peak to cross as well. And for that, you may need to learn more, to grow more, to succeed more. And that is how you maintain the balance between being assertive, clear, confident, but also humble and learnable, and being able to put your head down and say, yeah, I may be wrong. Please teach me what's here. That balance is what creates success. Now, it may seem like these two things cannot exist together, right? How can you look at the top of the peak but also look down and be proud of the journey you've covered? That will just make you complacent. Well, actually, no, that will make you confident. That will not make you arrogant. That will make you secure in yourself and in your ability, but not insecure that you just stick to what you have rather than taking more risks. And every single high achiever has this pattern, has this in their blood, literally, that they can appreciate where they've come, and at the same time they can continue to learn, continue to grow. That's the paradox, that's the duality. If you're expecting that there's a simple answer to how to achieve massive growth, well, there are. You can try the tips, but the ultimate truth is always going to be this: no matter what heights you reach, there will always be room to grow. No matter you're at the top of the world, you've just broken world records, there is always room to grow. And if not in competition with others, in competition with your own past self. That's how you stay at success, not just get it, but stay there, maintain it, and continue to grow it. Now, to make that happen, though, there have to be a few shifts that have to happen in your mindset and in the way you're approaching your work, your tasks, but essentially your sense of worth. And that is to detach your sense of worth from the outcomes of your actions to the process of your actions. Here's what I mean by that. If you have declared to yourself subconsciously, I will feel worthy, I will feel good enough the day I'm at that peak, good luck getting there. You're just not getting there. Why? Because every single day, when you're not getting closer to the peak, all you will keep saying is the distance left, the distance left, the distance left, and you will end up feeling unworthy and insecure every single day. And that's not the energy that attracts success. But at the same time, you don't need to be arrogant that, oh, I have everything. And arrogant people are actually very insecure. Their arrogance is just a farce for the deeper insecurity that hides within, which is essentially that I don't want anyone to see I'm weak. So I'm going to portray that I'm so strong that nobody can even see through me. But that's a conversation for another day. We'll have a special session on the difference between assertiveness and arrogance. I've got the idea in my mind. We'll talk about it sometime in the next week or two. I'll plan it accordingly. But coming back to today's topic now, what you need is to be able to have that goal that you want to achieve. Okay. And when you're achieving that goal, you're going to that goal, you're going to that peak, you're able to look at it, but you are seeing I am worthy and enough today as well. Why? Because I have already achieved so much and I've already done so much. Yes, I have another long way to go, but I'm also proud of the journey I have covered. Yes, there are more ambitions I want to achieve, but my worth is not tied to those ambitions. My worth is tied to how I'm showing up every day. Because if you feel worthy, whole, and complete now, that's the only way you will unlock massive growth in your life. Now, I want to give you my example here and these sessions that we've been doing, right? If, let's say, every single session, my sense of worth was attached not to how I'm showing up, but how many people tuned into the live stream, how many comments were there in the chat, did people like it, did people not like it, what's the range of the views coming in, and all that stuff. If I was worried about that, then would I grow? No, because I would have tied my sense of worth to the end result. And if there's even a bit of a fall, I'm getting worried, I'm getting tired, I'm getting stressed out, I'm freaking out. All that stuff will happen. But no, my measure of self worth and my measure of feeling good about myself is, have I given my best on front of camera today? Doesn't matter if I'm having a headache. Doesn't matter if I just felt very frustrated for some reason 2 minutes before I logged into the session. Doesn't matter if something didn't go the way I wanted to. This does not get affected. This is where I show up with professionalism. This is where I show up with care. This is where I show up as the coach that I am, as the author that I am, and as the human being that I am who's interested in creating transformation. And that's what I show up as. And so every single day, when I close the stream at 8:46 or 8:47, sometimes at 8:48 or 8:50 as well, if you're really talking that long, I feel proud of myself. I feel good. I feel great. And because I'm feeling that, I just achieved my very first big target of 1,000 subscribers right here on this channel. We're a family of more than 1,000, as we talked about yesterday. Now that peak is done. Of course, I have 10,000 to get to. I have 100,000 to get to. But am I stressing out because of that? No. Am I getting too arrogant? Oh my God, I've already done my goal. I don't need to do anything else. No. I'm able to stay in this paradox of growth where I'm proud of the journey I've covered, but I'm also looking at the peaks that have to follow, and I'm excited to conquer them. I'm excited to go for them, not because they will finally make me feel worthy, because I already am worthy. That's just a curious experiment I want to go on to see my potential. When your dreams take on this lens for you, you are going to change the world. I can guarantee it. You will change the world because you will show up for the work, you will show up for the efforts, you will show up for being your best self, for creating a level of impact that even you may not have imagined. It's magical what happens. I mean, I was just thinking about this today. The kind of people I'm coaching, the kind of rooms that I have access to now, the kind of connections I have today at the age of 19, the kind of financial independence I have for myself. You ask the version of me at age 9 or age 10, he's going to be shocked. What are you doing in your life? How did you even make this happen? So I'm proud of myself. I know I've come a long way. Are my goals bigger? Of course they are. But I'm chasing them, not with desperation, with surety that I can make it happen because I'm worthy of every single thing I want. Now, this is not arrogance. This is assertiveness. This is confidence. And the day you have this sense of confidence, where you're humble enough to learn, but also proud of the journey you have covered, that's the day, my friend, success stops feeling like work and it starts feeling like a wondrous, expansive, lifetime project you never ever want to retire from. That's the magic we want to create. So think about these questions. Think about how you can embrace the paradox of growth in your life. You have tonight for it, you have the weekend for it. And I'll see you on Monday for the 51st session. My God, I'm so excited. See you tomorrow, not tomorrow, see you on Monday at 8:30 p.m. IST. That's the exact same time. Thank you so much once again from the bottom of my heart for being here, for allowing me this opportunity to create this transformation for you, for being my family here now. This is the place I'm always going to cherish. Thank you so much for giving me this access, for giving me this opportunity. Have a good night. See you soon. Bye.